And welcome to the Unitarian Church of Evanston. I'm Sarah Vanderwicken, your worship associate for this morning, along with Reverend Susan Francis. Whether this is your spiritual home or you are newly discovering this community, we're grateful to share this time together. We strive to be an inclusive and welcoming community seeking truth in love and nurturing the human spirit for a world made whole. We're guided by our principles and values, which remind us in every moment and through every challenge that each of us is worthy of love and that we are all connected through the vast and beautiful web of existence. We come together to remember our kinship with one another and to hold one another in heart and mind with tenderness and careful attention, and to dedicate ourselves more fully to living our shared values. People of all ages are welcome and an important part of our faith community, and we're blessed to have children in the sanctuary for the first half of every service and for the whole service about once a month. The nest in the front is our designated area for families with young children, and we have quiet fidget toys and activities and a kid-friendly order of service. Nursery care is available in room 11 every Sunday. As part of being a welcoming and inclusive community, we have some information posted on the screen that will help orient you to UCE and our service. A few announcements. UCE's holiday giving program, the Mitten Tree, is in full swing. Gifts are due back at UCE by next Sunday, December 3rd, so please sign up today to buy gifts or volunteer to wrap them. And if you've already brought some with you, you can put them back by the back program table in the back of the sanctuary. See Alice Swan after the service today, or check Friday's newsletter for links to sign up to get and bring gifts. Ornament Sunday is next Sunday. All ages are invited to join in making ornaments for our Christmas tree or to take home. Look for the sign-up link in the newsletter if you want to host a table. We're looking for folks to bring flowers for the chancel and light the chalice for Sundays through December, January, and February. There is a sign-up sheet at the Welcome Center in the lobby. Please sign up on your way out today. And now, let us settle into our shared time of reflection, celebration, and inspiration. As we begin our worship service, those joining us online are invited to gather your chalice as we join in beloved community. Welcome to worship. Thank you for setting such a tone. The Unitarian Church of Evanston resides on land that was recorded as being transferred from the local Potawatomi community to the U.S. government in 1829, shortly after the Potawatomi in this area were forcibly removed west of the Mississippi River. This land was then sold to white settlers. We remember the ancestors of contemporary African Americans, the individuals, families, and networks of Black people who built up our country's culture and economy, a role forced on them originally by enslavement. We acknowledge the intentional violence that landed on North American shores in 1619 and has continued throughout the generations and remains a reality today. These acknowledgments are one small effort toward building long-term solidarity with contemporary communities. We commit ourselves to take what we learn here today and incorporate it into our lives and turn our thoughts into actions. Please join in our words of shared commitment. We name these realities with honor for all the ancestors, respect for our descendants, and gratitude for the land we use as sacred space. The flowers today are in honor of and in gratitude for the countless people who answered the call to volunteer, donate, support, and attend this year's auction, a financial success, and just as importantly, a community builder. As we light our chalice, symbol of our living tradition, please join in saying the words on the screen written by Adrian L.H. Graham. We kindle a flame of power, illuminating the holy in each of our faces. We recognize in the flame a passionate commitment to our shared faith. We are held and carried from day to day, week to week, in the shining of the light. This flame is mine as well as yours. We are brought together on this day, called to growth, to expansion within its glow. Please rise in body or spirit and join in saying the words of our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Before we sing our opening hymn, I invite those joining us online to greet each other in the chat, and those gathered here in the sanctuary to turn to one another briefly to say good morning, trying to greet someone new to you.
Stay after the service and continue your conversations. If you are new to UCE, please stop by our welcome table with the red tablecloth. Carolyn Laughlin is back there this morning. Let us keep creating new relationships and building kinship among us. Please remain risen and join in our opening hymn, 340, Though Gathered Here to Celebrate.
Worships
Good morning. Our time for all ages is going to be a little different today. I hope you have all had a good weekend with good food and with good memories being made. In my family, our Thanksgiving tradition is to go around the table and say something we're thankful for. I think many folks have that same tradition. And I have been thinking about how over this Thanksgiving weekend and into the winter holidays that we make space not just for the things that bring us joy and that we are grateful for, but also for those things that bring us worry, those things that make us sad. How do we talk about the devastating history of Native Americans in our country? How do we grieve over those we know who have died this past year and we are missing? How do we grapple with the changing environment? Not to debate those issues, not to problem solve, but to hold them, to name them, to listen to each other and to witness. How do we have that same moment where we just sit and listen to each other around the dinner table, name those things? How do we have that moment for lament in addition to gratitude? During our October 29th service, some of you may have been here, Reverend Eileen had us put leaves on these trees. She invited us to remember the people who loved us into being, the people who have influenced us, even if they never knew us. I believe she called out Mr. Rogers. And the people of the indigenous communities who cared for this land and the land we all live on. The trees on our chancel are full of those remembered ancestors. One of the wonders of being human is that we get to be in relationship with each other. Relationships with our families, with our friends, relationships even with the strangers we don't know and our larger society. Relationships bring us joy. Relationships also bring us sorrow. I lost my place. So we are going to expand the composition of our trees from holding individuals to holding the complexities of our relationships with each other and the world. So when you entered the sanctuary, you should have gotten a little leaf and a little pencil. And if you do not have one, if you will raise your hand, and my helpers will bring you a pencil and a leaf. So we're going to name and hold something that makes us happy or that we're grateful for. We're also going to name and hold something that we are sad or worried about. We are going to practice this yes and way of being in life. For life is rarely all joy or all sorrow. And being able to find a way to hold both, to move through life without completely disregarding one or the other is important. Before writing on our leaves, we're going to practice expressing some emotions. Feelings that I hope you will take home with you and think about in the weeks ahead. But as we do this, I also want to invite you to take care of yourself, right? Knowing that this morning that we're only together for a short period of time today, and if you have feelings that arise that you need to talk about, to find me or find a friend after the service today. All right. So we're going to try and feel feelings in our body and in our voice. So I invite you to rise. And we're going to start with emotions that are hard that make us feel bad or overwhelmed. And we're going to do 4, but I'm going to ask for a call out of hard emotions, and then I'll pick 4 out of those. So do you have any ideas about hard emotions? Fear. Shame, jealousy. Sorrow and anger. Guilt. Anxiety. Frustration. Stress. Tired. Sadness. Grief. Resentment. Yeah, good. All right. Okay. So I'm going to go back up so you can see me. All right. Sadness. Put your hands over your heart. If you want to have your head hang down, that's okay. And we're all going to say together, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be sad. Anger. Ball your fists up, put them like next to your head, and we're all going to say together, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be angry. Yeah. Resentment. I invite you to put your hands on your belly as we say together, it's okay to feel resentment. It's okay to feel resentment. And grief. I invite you, if you're comfortable, to hug yourself as we say together, it's okay to feel grief. It's okay to feel grief. Not only do we feel emotions in our body, we experience them in our voice. Our voice wavers and cracks. And vocally expressing our feelings without words is a good way to process hard feelings. Sometimes we cry, sometimes we scream. And this morning, I invite you into a sigh, an expressive sigh, to inhale together and exhale with a sigh. And to do that again, expanding your belly, really breathing in, expanding your chest and your arms. And this time when you exhale, to fold in on yourself with a deep sigh. And to give yourself another hug if you need to. And taking a moment if something specific has come to mind through your body or through your voice, and to write it on one side of your leaf. And if it's awkward and you need to sit for a moment, to do that. Right? A big feeling that you might have. Thank you, Reverend Elizabeth. That's a great way to say that. And knowing that you'll have more time later to write on your leaf, I invite you to stand up again, because we're talking about how to hold the complexity of lament and gratitude. And so we're going to move into expressing some content feelings, some feelings that make us happy. And I'm going to start over here again. Do you have any words that you like to express when you feel good? Calm. Joy. Happiness. Gratitude. Contentment. Bliss. Love. Silly. Thank you. Awe. Laughter. Friendly. Nice. All right. So, contentment, right? We're going to do the same gestures in our body for these words. So, hands over your heart. And we're going to say together, it's okay to feel content. It's okay to feel content. And someone said, silly. So we're going to put our hands on our face and say, it's okay to feel silly. It's okay to feel silly. And awe. Put your hands in the air and let's say, it is okay to feel awe. It is okay to feel awe. And then bliss. So if you're comfortable hugging yourself and saying, it's okay to feel bliss. It's okay to feel bliss. Again, recognizing that emotions live throughout our bodies, including in our voice, that sometimes we have vocal expressions without words to express that. Sometimes we cheer and sometimes we yell. Today, I'm going to invite us into a woohoo. And so taking a deep breath in, as you exhale, I invite you to woohoo! Yeah. And again, taking that deep breath in from your belly, expanding your chest and throwing your arms back. And as you exhale, a big woohoo! Good job. And so on our leaf on the other side, if something specific has come to mind through your body or your voice, I invite you to write that on the other side of your leaf, and you're invited to be seated. As we take a moment to resettle into our chairs, I invite you to feel the ground beneath your feet. I invite you to feel the leaf or the pencil in your hand or your hands on your legs. I invite you to feel your breath coming in, going out. So if you have not already, you are invited to write a word or phrase, or maybe it's a symbol or an image that has come to mind about something that is hard right now on one side of your leaf. And on the other side of your leaf to write something, a word or phrase, to draw a symbol or an image of something that you are grateful for. And when you're ready, I invite you to come up to the trees on the chancel, to use the ramp, or to help each other on the stairs. Please make sure to come up slowly and safely, and to tie your leaf to the trees. Take your time. Talking to the people next to you is encouraged, and Gregory is going to play softly as we engage in this ritual of honoring the complexities of relationships. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Good morning. take them back to your seat. Yeah, don't. Yeah, thank you. Hey, good morning. Yeah, it's good to see you. Oh, yeah. I invite you to take a moment to look at our trees and about how it has become more complex. The color has changed. There is more and more, and that is true for our relationships. We acknowledge the complexities of being human together. Together we hold the multitude of feelings in our bodies, in our voices, and in our minds. Not to solve, not to fix, but to listen and to witness. Blessed be. Thank you, Gregory. I invite us to settle into a time of reflection as we share our joys and sorrows. If you have a joy or sorrow you would like spoken aloud, you may write it in our Joys and Sorrows book, which lives on the table right inside the doors coming in from the lobby. Or you may fill out the form. There's a button on the homepage of our website. Or you may email Reverend Eileen or myself. We listen to these offerings with tenderness, with respect. Let us quiet our bodies and voices during this sacred moment, breathing in, breathing out with a quiet sigh. These are the joys and sorrows that have been shared before our service today. A joy from Meredith Hayden, who brought our lovely flowers today. Special thanks to Chris Allender and to Kathy Diamant and to Mary Beth Roth for being the leadership team for our Serendipity auction, and to all the volunteers who worked to make the auction a success. Thank you. There is a sorrow for the Taborek family who are dealing with Jim's failing health and dementia. There is a sorrow from Gretchen Brewster, who shares that her brother Blake died rather suddenly last week at the ripe old age of 82. A man of his word, he lived up to his promise. He always expected he would die as soon as he retired, which he was very much in the midst of. Gretchen says, "I will miss that wild and crazy guy, the one who provided us with his dry one-liners and was always good for so many laughs and joyful times. He was a good man as well as a dutiful hubby, daddy, and granddad." Please raise a glass to William Blakesell Smith and give thanks for the joy he brought to many of us. His absence makes me weep, although I experience that he is well and living life. And from Bob Mesley, his sister Ann Mesley is in the hospital in Kansas City, Missouri, where she is being treated for several small bleeds in her brain. Although she is coherent and clearly herself on the phone, she struggles with some confusion in her thoughts and her ability to find words. Since Bob nearly died from a brain bleed 6 years ago, the family is anxious but hopeful for a full recovery. From John Paust, "My joy is that after all the deconditioning from my cancer treatment, our very own UCE yoga has greatly helped me move again. And with luck, I just might be able to keep up with my grandchildren." Yeah. A joy from Mary Dudek. "The Interfaith Thanksgiving service on Wednesday was particularly meaningful and very needed this year. Having faith leaders all center peace and humanity, thank you, in their messages gives us all more hope." And another joy, Jay Little's mom's birthday. We are so blessed by her love and had a wonderful family time in South Carolina this week. Lots of cousin time, and as the years go on, that time is more and more special. Sharing these concerns of the heart and joys is a part of our beloved practice of beloved community. Together we expand our celebrations and lessen the burden of our grief. You are invited to come forward down the center or side aisles to light a candle for the joys and sorrows on your heart. If you would like a candle brought to you, please raise your hand. I invite you to come forward. Please join me in an attitude of prayer and meditation. And thank you, Ellie. Yes, please join in saying our words. Yes. For these joys we give our thanks. For these sorrows we give our love. Spirit of life, we are grateful for our loved ones, for those who sit with us when we are sick or going through medical treatments or final exams, those cheering us on as we look for a job or start a new romance. We are grateful for those who laugh with us and make us laugh, for the young and old who share a different perspective with us and challenge us to both remember the past and look toward the future. Spirit of life, we are sorrowful, missing loved ones who died this past year, missing family too far away to be able to afford to visit. We are worried about jobs and children, about elderly parents and the changing environment. We are fearful for the Israeli hostages being held still by Hamas. We are heartbroken over the thousands of Palestinians killed by the Israeli government's response. We are saddened by our own country's history of genocide, marked by the National Day of Mourning this past Thursday. Spirit of relationship, help us to hold all of this and more in our hearts, in our bodies, and in our minds. Help us to reach out to each other for care and support in times of grief and need, and to also reach out to celebrate in times of triumph and happiness. Spirit of love and hope, help us to take care of ourselves so we're able to be there when others reach out. Help us to find an internal balance in this complicated world. Ever grateful for the love and hope that surrounds us. Let the people say, Amen. Let the people say, Blessed be. As we sing our response, our young people, preschool through 6th grade, are invited to head to their faith formation time with their adult leaders.
As we say in our covenant each Sunday, service is our law. UCE is called by our mission, values, and principles to contribute to our community, to form accountable partnerships, and to express gratitude through giving. Today's offering will be shared with UUANI, otherwise known as UNI, whose mission is to build power among UU congregations in Illinois to accountably advocate with those who have been historically marginalized. You may text to give, mail in a check, give from our website, or put some cash in the offering plate. If you write a check, please indicate in the memo line if your check is for the shared offering or some other giving. The ushers will now come forward to pass the collection bowls down the rows. Please give as generously as you are able, and what you give bring you joy.
Thank you, Gregory. Thank you all for your generosity. Our reading this morning is the poem, The Archive of Our Relation by Adika Chilome. I admit the mourning is constant. The names, the words, the whispers, colors and textures that were lost, persecuted, poisoned, disinherited, extracted, cut down, shaved, kidnapped, unclaimed, and forgotten, an endless war. I too report my silence has not saved me, yet running water calls spirits hidden in me carefully, waiting for me to quiet the mind so they may wake me right on time, to witness the great expanse, a dance so tender it gently wakes the sun. In gratitude, the sun rises, offers its power so that we may see all that has been done, all that is yet to come. In humility and courage, I rise, offer my power so that I may see all that has been done and you who has yet to become. Tumal Sunu, may the sun always shine on you. A prayer weaved by the most precious parts of me, a breath the most potent offering to our becoming. I report the water, the earth, the seeds, and the grace of a dancing sky remain a pure reflection, the wealth of our inheritance, the heart of our connection, the archive of our relation, if we so choose to co-conspire to remember. Agua es vida. Life is water. Water is life. We are the water, and remembering has offered us our lives. Love letters bloomed beautiful in anticipation of you. Travel guides to the ancient futures that are due. Living memory of gestation and labor, humble testimonies conspire in your favor. You see, more than hope, we hold a deep knowing. All creation moves in circle. All that was once dead is reborn. The breaking of the seed, a necessary violence. Forgiveness, a necessary blooming. Resistance, a necessary rooting. Rebuilding, a defining act of courage. Letting go, a radical act of love. I too agree with trees. I do not shy away from the darkness, nor do I fear the wind. I remember the water and take root in the memory of you, the living archive of relation, a sweet and sacred confirmation that we are still alive. When I started my first chaplaincy program in the middle of seminary, I was afraid of praying out loud, especially with folks facing hardships. After meeting with dozens of patients, I discovered that if I entered the room open to listening and to building relationship, that the patients or their families would guide me. Patients and their loved ones taught me to express lamentation and gratitude in many different ways. I learned to get out of my words and out of my typical written style of expression and to be in my heart space, to sing or to sigh. One patient even had me dance with her. To be present in my body, to throw up my hands in frustration or in praise, or to sit silently and merely have my presence provide the care or comfort or support that was needed. Through all of those experiences, I let relationship guide me. I do the same now as I process my own feelings around the environmental crisis, around the conflict in Israel and Gaza, around my grief over my cousin's unexpected death this summer. Spiritual director Stephen W. Smith describes a lament as a determined and concentrated witness to suffering. A lament is an expression that attempts to express something that is too deep for words. He says, a lament is not an attempt to explain suffering. A lament is not a contrived list of tips and techniques to avoid suffering. The person that is lamenting is simply expressing the chaos, the confusion, and the commotion that is occurring inside of them. And we need to be able to journey with each other through lament, to listen and to witness, because neglecting those expressions of difficult emotions leads to physical ailments like headaches and high blood pressure, leads to emotional ailments like depression and anxiety, and even spiritual angst such as despair. It can damage our relationships. And while in relationship we don't always agree on the way to move forward, what we can agree on is that we have each other's back, that we are there to listen and to witness to the reality of each person's lived experience. Are you going to come up? Are you going to make me anxious? I don't know if you know, but there's actually wires back there. I thought it was just an open dive to the back. But there's not. There's wires along the back. The poem written by Adika Chilome, who is a young, queer, indigenous, mestiza, cultural worker, writer, and poet. She starts her poem, The Archive of Our Relation, with, I admit, the morning is constant. And then she goes on to express her gratitude for the sun, calling her back into relationship and inviting her to join with the water, the earth, the seeds, and the grace of the dancing sky. She expresses that these are the heart of our connection, the archive of our relation, if we so choose to co-conspire and remember. My understanding of her poem is that it is the fractured relationships with her ancestors and with the earth that brings her sorrow. And it is the rebuilding of these relationships that gives her a sense of gratitude. My invitation to you today is to use that as a guide. It is an invitation into relationship, with each other, with the earth, with all of our ancestors and all of our complex feelings. So I invite you to share the sorrows of our collective and our individual, past and present and future. To lament using your whole self so that you can express gratitude using your whole self. Blessed be.
As we extinguish the chalice, please join in saying the words on the screen by Reverend Elizabeth Sell Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, number 1010, We Give Thanks.
We give thanks for this day, knowing we can hold the balance of our sorrows alongside our gratitude, knowing that when the grief is too much, that we are surrounded by love and provided comfort by this community. May you know that you are held in each complex moment of life. Blessed be. Go in peace.